Jamaicans are worried that the allegiance switch from Jamaica to Turkey by Stona, HIBBERT, Campbell, and PINNOCK'S is killing the Jamaican track and field program. So, is it? Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we continue to grow. When you do that, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops, you drop a video. It's wanted in Peter Lloyd World. Also, enjoy the content, please hit that like button and finally leave your thoughts. So, ready? Yep, good to go. Well, you know, in the midst of all of this doom and gloom and fear and grief regarding the allegiance switch of 4 Jamaicans, Olympians, no doubt, there is some positive coming out of this. Growing up, there was a saying I used to hear my mom and my grandma use continuously. Now, I don't know if it's a Jamaican saying, I assume it is, but I'm pretty sure it might have come from somewhere else. It's a saying, cow no know the use of him tail till him lose it. Cow no know the use of him tail till him lose it. And I think that's what's happening with this entire allegiance switch. And Jamaica. Well, one of the positives out of all of this is this remarkable young lady. Last year at the Paris Olympic Games, she delivered a silver medal in the women's triple jump discipline. We're talking about none other than the legendary Jamaican Shanieka Ricketts. Well, it would seem as a result of what has recently happened regarding the switch of allegiance from Jamaica to Turkey by several Jamaicans, including our gold medalist from last year's Olympics, Roje Stona. She has ended up with a huge sponsorship deal.
Jamaicans so experienced, finally picking up medals in the last few years. Right on the board there. Now that looks pretty good. Just almost seemed to drop her feet.
Now, it was just about 4 or 5 days ago that her husband spoke about the fact that on several occasions, Shanieka Ricketts, his wife, who he coaches, they were poached by several nations trying to get her to switch allegiance from Jamaica to that country, whichever the country was. But she stood firm against the advance of Babylon. And as a result of this, Dollar Finance has decided to finally sponsor Shanieka Ricketts. Now, there's an aspect to this which is a little interesting, which is this is the silver medalist from the Paris Olympic Games, and she's just now getting sponsorship, major sponsorship by a Jamaican company. And this is as a result of what happened with these 4 young men switching their allegiance from Jamaica to Turkey.
Where Mr. Ricketts spoke about the loyalty of Mrs. Ricketts to Jamaica, to track and field in Jamaica, to the opportunities that had been presented her way, that she gave up to remain here. And it touched something within us at Dollar, because Dollar prides itself on the loyalty that it has with its customers, its stakeholders, its shareholders.
Well, I have to say big up to Dollar Finance for stepping up, and hopefully they will set a precedent where Caribbean and other Jamaican companies will consider sponsoring not only the top tier sprinters, but the top tier track and field athletes. People, when you take people for granted, this is the kind of thing that happens.
Introducing Peter Lloyd World merchandise, where style meets comfort. From trendy tees to cozy hoodies, we've got something for everyone. Elevate your wardrobe with our high-quality, fashionable designs that make a statement. Whether you're hitting the streets or chilling at home, Peter Lloyd World has you covered. Shop now and upgrade your look with Peter Lloyd World merchandise. Available exclusively at Peter Lloyd World. Link in description below.
Listen to this interview by Rajindra Campbell, who recently switched his allegiance from Jamaica to Turkey.
Cool. You want to start training. There's a few things you need for training. Cannot afford it.
Yeah.
Do you put out training for another week to try and get that? If you put out training, what would you do during that time? Start to get a job.
Yeah.
To get a job, what be the requirements for that job? One, no, I know for a fact I can't work over.
I remember one time he came on Instagram Live
and he was actually delivering a pizza while on the live. And it was, I remember everybody on the live was just so shocked. And we were like, yo, like, him actually putting in the work.
And then, of course, you may remember last year when Daniel Thomas Dodd complained about the lack of support from the J3As and the Jamaica Olympic Association, which he said led to her not performing at her best at the Paris Olympic Games. I featured this, I talked about this, and I said there may be consequences for ignoring them. Take a listen.
Exactly, and that's the irony of it. The gold medal that they were sitting down waiting for did not come from the track. It came from the field events, and those are the events that they neglect so much in Jamaica. And most of the medals that we have gotten so far at these games comes from the field events, and we're the most marginalized groups within Jamaica track and field, and it's very frustrating, and it's time for them to stop and really reflect on what they're doing to us as athletes.
The president of the J3As, Garth Gale, recently shared this with the Jamaica Observer. While admitting he holds no grudges against the departing athletes, he says he intends to write to the world governing body to see how best the matter can be addressed. Gale, though, says the J3As will continue to support Jamaican athletes with the resources available to them and has called for corporate Jamaica to invest more in the sport. I would say invest more in the field events of the sport.
I can't, at this moment, presuppose why it is that the four in question would have acted the way they have acted. Suffice to say, we wish the athletes all the best in their pursuit.
And then there was this recent interview where the person being interviewed, well, implied that Turkey may be looking at some of our upcoming female sprinters to poach them.
They are very passionate about the 4x1 team. That's why I predict that's why they are focusing on the women.
Now, this, of course, is my 2 cents. I've been hearing people talk about this for almost a week. In fact, there are people who are literally afraid, and I'm going to be honest with you, you probably should be afraid. Let's talk about this from my perspective. I'm going to give you finally my honest perspective about this scenario. Now, of course, unless you walk a mile in someone's shoe, you have no idea what they're going through. I have no idea what Roje Stona is going through personally, financially, emotionally, and the same thing with JAYDON HIBBERT, the same thing with RAJINDRA CAMPBELL, the same thing with Wayne Pinnock. I know Wayne Pinnock recently became a father. I also know that there are many of you who say, well, let the man them grab the money and run, because it's a money thing, and we have to grab the money and thing, and national pride can't go bank, you can't pay bills with it. And those are valid, very valid points. And like I said, I have no idea what these athletes are going through personally. Now, they wouldn't be the first athletes to have switched allegiance from Jamaica, specifically to Turkey. This has happened before. My good 40s brother, Andy Livingston, should check out his YouTube channel, people. Andy Livingston, The Reasoning. In his latest video, talked about the fact of Jack Harvey, who used to run for Jamaica, and in 2015 he took up an offer by Turkey and became their star runner, their fastest athlete. I think him still have the national record in Turkey, 9.92, which at that time in 2015 compared to a 9.58 and a 9.69 would have been like a bad joke. And Mr. Harvey eat him food. Now, if we think about this thing from the perspective of the athlete, and that's what we're trying to do here, the fact of the matter is you can be a top tier athlete and one injury and it done. Johan Blake, as much as she has accomplished, she could have accomplished much more. Elaine Thompson-Herah, had it not been for this Achilles heel injury that still plagues her. I mean, there's so many athletes that we can talk about who have had this issue where they're the best of the best and one injury and is up. So maybe the athletes are thinking, and we know that Jayden Hibbert seems to be injury prone. Well, I'm gonna make $500,000 because what I'm hearing is that they're being offered $500,000 up front, plus they're being offered a salary. Plus, they don't have to leave Jamaica. They can actually live in Jamaica, train anywhere they want to train in the world, and I suspect they would train here. And we know that the MVP and others, they do train other athletes. We know that, Glenn Mills, that all of them, they train other athletes who are not Jamaicans. So this is a perfect thing for them. I mean, they're making a lot of money. They don't have to be struggling anymore like, delivering pizza like Rajindra Campbell. If they have injury issues like Jayden Hibbert, they could find, this could be a way out of it. It's a 7-year contract. And apparently Turkey seems to be good for that 7 years. So from an athletic perspective, I can understand. And why would you want to wait 5, 6, 7, 8 years to master your craft to become the best? Because the fact of the matter is, of all the amateur and collegiate students who go pro, only 1 to 2% of them succeed. And of that 1 to 2%, only 1 to 2% of that 1 to 2% become top tier. And you may not know this, and I'm sure I've said it to you before, but there are top tier athletes in Europe who have 9-to-5 jobs because they cannot support their passion. They're not earning enough money. It's one of the reasons why I am so excited about Grand Slam track and Athos and these others, because I've been saying for the years I've been doing this now, them not pay the athletes enough money. Athletes need to be able to survive. So I can understand from the athletic perspective, the athlete's perspective, why they would want to make this decision. It makes sense. And you have to also understand, of the 4, and these are 4 remarkable prospects. I mean, Rajindra, bronze medalist, Paris Olympic Games. Jayden Hibbert came 4th and he was injured. He's considered one of the best triple jumpers in the world and certainly the best at his age group. Wayne Pinnock, silver medalist, and clearly is going to eventually become the gold medalist. And Roje Stona, first time out, sets an Olympic record in the discus and becomes the gold medalist, which is an incredible feat. But the truth is, people, them did broke. Them now make no money. I think maybe Jayden Hibbert, and I suspect Wayne Pinnock was making money because he's been doing very, very well on the circuit, but not the kind of money he expected. And I can tell you, I know one athlete who told me of their own frustration, because this is a top tier, top 5 in the world athlete who never made no money and was so frustrated psychologically. It was impacting that athlete's capacity to give of their best, because athletes are people. So from the athlete's perspective, I understand why the decision would have been made to take the $500,000 up front. Is a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You're sure about this, and you're going to make the leap and you're going to make the jump, and you can stay right here in Jamaica. And if you're getting a good salary, I may hear talks of 20 and 30,000 US, that may just be talk in the wind, but may I hear about some serious money. It's a perfect life. So from the athlete's perspective, I get it. But here's the other part that we have to look at. All of those 4 athletes are the product of Jamaica. And I mean, genuinely, the product. We have spent, the taxpayers of this country, not the government, because I keep saying government, and government don't really want to spend the money. Are we the taxpayers? We have spent millions of dollars training, grooming, educating, feeding these athletes. Millions. Way more than the $500,000 them I get up front. May I tell you that straight? Are we the Jamaican people, because we keep saying the politician them and them not to do with this. We are the taxpayers. So it's really the taxpayers and we are pay for everything out of our pocket. So you understand what I said to you now. High school in Jamaica is generally free. Primary school is generally free. And we pay for that. So are we and the coaching they got in high school, Jayden Hibbert at KC and others, right? Are we pay for it? We, of course, KC get them and the other schools that they have people who support them. But may I tell you, are we the taxpayers? We have spent way more than $500,000 on all four of these athletes to get them to the point where Turkey wants to take them. So I really don't have a problem with Turkey and them going to Turkey, but I think Turkey needs to get we, the taxpayers, back some of our money. That's my personal opinion. Because we train them. Now I know some of you don't understand that aspect of it, but yeah, everything when you see running the country, you and me are pay fee. If you pay tax, trust me, and me and you pay fee. From the bus them, the road them, I know the politician them do that. And we. So all the athletes that you see will coming out, the Alana Reeds, we are pay for them. I'm not saying that their family and etc. don't spend money, but we are pay for them. Now I also hear many of you saying that the government needs to step up. When you get this mentality from, why would the government have to really do this to a certain extent? I would say that what needs to happen is like what happened with dollar. A lot of the private sector need to step up. I mean, yeah, Shanieka have our deal and Shelly and so Roje Stona have a gold medal and the Olympic record. How could he not have been signed by one of the corporations in Jamaica? When I think, what's going on? So you're telling me it's because we lost 4 possible world championship medals, 1 go to Turkey. That's why Dollar stepped up. And big up to Dollar, I'm very, very proud of you. Because it's not the government in this instance, people. The private institutions, the companies, they need to step up and sign these people. How can Shanieka Ricketts be such an accomplished triple jumper and she just get signed to a major deal as far as I'm aware, or that from she win the Paris Olympic Games silver medal, she's supposed to be signed. No, I concede that we are not America. America have 325 million people and they are considered, well, they are historically the wealthiest country in the history of mankind. We are not Canada, we are not Turkey, we are none of these countries. We don't have that kind of money. And let's face it, this is not the first time we are seeing this. We spend millions training nurses. And when I say train, I talk about from their kindergarten through primary school, through high school. It's we, the taxpayers, we're taking up a lot of that money. And we see the nurse them as them graduate, some of them not even graduate. We see Canada and America and England does the same thing. The sportsman say, come. We're having the same problem with our teachers. So this is nothing unusual. And in fact, we should have understood that if you can do that with the teachers, if you can do that with our nurses, etc., and our doctors, of course you can do it with the athletes. Why work? Why should Turkey work and do what we do and go through the process that we, the Jamaican people, have gone through to create these athletes? But them can just come and say, see our money here and buy them. Now, I have always had a problem with that. You know, as some people think Jamaica is not doing well, some people it is. I think based on my life, and based on what all the international organizations are saying, we're doing a way better job than most people would like to think. But I've always said, how much better would Jamaica be if them nurses there, they stay here? If instead of everybody run, go America, go school. And listen, I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm just saying, how do you expect us to compete with first world countries when all the brilliant talent, the consistent brain drain, the people who would come up with the brilliant ideas to make, multinational corporations are being siphoned off by big companies overseas? So it's really a chicken or egg scenario. A country with 2.8 to 2.9 million people who is just emerging from struggle financially cannot compete with a Turkey. We can't compete with a America or a Canada or a England or a Germany. We can't. And again, I also understand from the athlete's perspective that them just think, boy, me can't get injured tomorrow, me have to eat a food now. You know, that mentality, eat a food, something I despise. I don't even like to hear the term eat a food. So even me, I am caught between because I get the athlete's perspective, but I also am thinking, do you all get what could happen? One of the reasons why Jamaica doesn't have a great cricket program is because our great cricketers are siphoned off to America and the other countries because of the money. What happens if this is the beginning of the destruction of the Jamaican track and field industry? It is not impossible. Suppose Alana Reid and all these people, Turkey, come to them and say, yo, I'm going to get $1 million US. What if all of those girls get up and leave, the Clayton twins, the one of them just get up and say, yo, we can't turn on this money. What do we do because we don't have anybody immediately to fill that gap? And then what would stop Turkey and other people from, okay, the minute we produce world-class athletes, I'm just going to buy them? I say, the J3s should insist that World Athletics, that Turkey pays a price. Give back some of our money we spend on these athletes because we don't get it, you know. But the athlete doesn't come out of here. So from the athlete born, all the education that them get through government, which is really us, because we are really the government, we're not going to realize it. We are a taxpayer. Every time you pay a tax, your money are going to create those athletes. Me want back some of the money from Turkey. Me think Turkey for give Jamaica a 40 or 50 or 60 million dollar. And then them can go and do them, take the 4 athletes and go them and go. Because I think if we don't do something, if we don't set a line in the sand, they're just going to keep poaching. Like I said, why wouldn't they come, these 4 girls that you're looking at right now? Baker, Campbell, Reid, Douglas. Suppose them come to them and say $1 million US each and 40,000 US a month. Why wouldn't they take it? The Jamaican track and field program as we know it would end almost overnight. Many of you don't understand the blow of losing these 4 athletes now. You're talking about 4 athletes who I suspect 3 of the 4 athletes had a high chance of walking away with a medal at this year's World Championship. And somebody just come and bite. And we, yes, the athletes have worked hard. Yes, they've gone through a lot of struggles. But it's we, the Jamaican people, PFA, at least 60% of whatever they've achieved as human beings, not just athletes. So how it for just go so? And then what would stop Canada, everybody else from doing the same thing and say, well, Turkey do it. So we can just come and buy it too. Suppose somebody come and say, Tina and Tia Clayton, $5 million US. And $5 million US to a country like America is like dollar to you. Jamaican dollar. I don't mean nothing. What if them come to them and say 20 million US? What do we then do? I am saying that the J3s need to do more than simply write a letter. The J3s need to go to Turkey and say, give back some of our money, boss, because I will help create them a people. And I know many of you don't see that. And I know many of you are saying, well, make the youth them eat a food. I'm not stopping them from eating food, but I'm saying if we don't cut this off right now, this is going to spread and it's going to become a massive problem because you have to understand the optics here. You know? I guarantee you that there are other athletes who are looking at this $500,000 US and saying, whoa, whoa. And if we don't put a plug the hole, and I think the way to plug the hole is 1, ensure that the World Athletics and we're not in World Athletics. Turkey give us some money. Turkey find out 50 million US and give Jamaica. Hand it to the J3s and we can use that money to ensure that it doesn't happen to the other athletes. I believe that should be a part of the process. Because otherwise they'll be poaching on us and other people like that will be poaching and the athletes where we are creating them and thief them. They're already doing it with our nurses and our doctors and our teachers, which is already creating a massive problem in Jamaica. So, demand, Turkey, give us some money for them people. So that then the J3s can then spend money on the athletes that are left. So the athletes are not even have to think we're going away. The second thing I think that needs to happen, and you may disagree with me on this one also, is that I think the private sector needs to step up. You cannot only give the ads and the sponsorship to the sprinters. If it wasn't for the field athletes, Jamaica would have been embarrassed last year at the Paris Olympic Games. Truly embarrassed. So they need to step up. Yes, step up, really step up. And everybody don't need $500,000. You can give the people them a nice money and them good couple million and them good to go. The third thing I need, I believe that the Jamaican track fans need to add field to their fandom. I can tell you when I do videos on field athletes, you don't normally watch them. I'm going to say, but only say a track and field at fans. What do you mean a 100-meter fan? You know, like, I just 100-meter on the scene for like. 100-meter alone can't make you a dominant country. I've been saying this for quite some time. Only keep saying Jamaica is dominant. We are not dominant. We can run fast. We were becoming dominant because we were developing a massive, excellent field. You have to be 6'3", 60, you have to be rounded. I know them are people just T4 athletes and that's that, and we must just make it go so. So, fans, support these athletes in a real way, not just the sprinters. Private sector. Support the field athletes as well as the sprinters. If a man win a gold medal and set an Olympic record, he should have been signed the damn land back at Jamaica immediately, because you don't want to lose him. Wake up and stop in the foolishness. Well, maybe this is what we needed, because see, finally Shanieka Ricketts gets properly signed. Come on, man. And 3, J3As. This is a team up, I'm going to write a little letter. Stop your foolishness. Go to Turkey and say, give me some money, because I feel money feed them your people here. I feel money get them to where them there. And you can't just come and, this is where it go. Nobody, what Anthony B said, nobody don't want to plant the can, but everybody want to read the band. I read them, I read with band people. They might take with teachers, they might take with doctors, they might take everything. No, they might take with athletes. What go left? Shell? What go left? You must understand that this is a serious problem. This is not no joke business and okay. You know, the man say, me show you, the man say, we are looking at women for our 4x1. And him say, if we can't get the established one, we look for the young people them. So you're talking about them, I look at Serena Cole and these people. So in my opinion, Turkey need to pay, and pay dearly. But this, of course, is my 2 cents. I'd love to hear your thought. Don't forget to support the channel. Check out our merch at printify.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up.